This is what happens when you try to do one of these things in the dark in the cab of a truck while you're at work, trying to get a jump on the 31 questions that we got to do here, right? I'm still trying to find the list of the questions. So, fortunately, I seen our humble GM publish his first, and he had the second question. So I was able to get a jump on this. What game would I like to see published? Well, friends, that's a no-brainer for me. That's my game. I've listened to a number of fellows on the RPG Brigade talk about the game systems that they're working on, their own, and how much effort and so on they put in. And I can totally sympathize with them. I spent 10 years, and my book system has 3 books to it at the moment. It's science fiction and its working title is Steller Frontiers. I've done a number of blogs on my the Fat Man GM YouTube site on this subject. Had even tried a Kickstarter that failed. It was through the Kickstarter I got an offer from a company called Golden Games. They're affiliated with Golden Bell Enterprises and Polar Bear Press. We signed a contract back in the spring, and then I haven't heard a word from them since. I don't know. I need to try to get in contact with them. I guess I didn't want to seem pushy. I expected that they would put a little bit more, I don't know, effort into this than what seems to be going. And what he's told me, nothing. Now, unfair, and it's in a printed version at the moment. I didn't have access to the media that I could save I could save, but I just couldn't keep it. So I had to wait. Now I'm trying to translate it over from into a digital format, and I'm working on the core book. The core book's 320 pages long. It's taking some time. Maybe that's what they're waiting on, is for me to come up with a digital version of it. Okay. The premise is simple. It's the Game of Thrones set in space. What sets my game apart, my Steller Frontiers apart from everything else out there, is the fact that it's built from the floor up to be solo played 100%. You create a house. It's a kind of a combination of Command and Conquer versus SimCities versus, like I said, Game of Thrones. And everything in it's designed using charts and pre-rolled systems. Not pre-rolled, but stuff that you roll. So if you want to negotiate with an NPC, the rules allow you to do it. The combat system can be played against, an NPC. You can play against an NPC and have them do fairly unpredictable things based on the system. It spent 10 years, and it was play tested for 8 of that 10 years, and it went through several evolutions. The original concept book was only about, you can't really see that much, about yay thick. And I kept having guys that were playing it says, well, how do I do this and how do I do that? And I would say, oh, well, this, that, and the other thing. And then it dawned on me, well, I need to put that down in writing. And that's how it got established. It just kept going, and then we revisited and revised and revised and revised, and it grew and it grew. And now the core book is, the core book itself is this thick. Over an inch thick, 320 pages. And then there's an equipment guide and a blueprint guide. I would dearly love to see that in print. Not because I'm hungry for a bunch of money or fame, but for justification. I spent an awful long time with a lot of time on my hands, and I focused on being productive. And along the route, I also wrote about and co-wrote with a friend of mine about 5 novels that are sitting in handwritten or type form. And at some point, I'm going to get them into digital format and then publish them on Kindle or something like that, just because that way I could say, I've actually accomplished something. There's a reason why my email is, Hilliard author. I want to leave some sort of a mark on the world when I walk away, when it's my turn to take off. It's a legacy thing. So there's my answer to that question. What book would I'd like to see published? What game would I like to see published? I'd like to see my game. So, you know, and I'd like to hope someday some of you will have it on your shelf. You'll probably play it briefly and then go, oh my God, there's too much math involved. And somebody will argue, well, they could have done this with a computer. This is basically a computer game in a paper format. And my argument will be, yeah, but not everybody has access to a computer. And you know what? What do you do in those long, dark nights if you're someplace where you just don't have the internet access and the power's out and you just got you, some paper and some pens and some dice? Anyway, there you go. What I would like to see done and published.